This is the Marvel Legends X-Men Toys R Us exclusive Jubilee Build-A-Figure wave featuring Jubilee the Build-A-Figure figure, Cyclops from the Uncanny X-Men, Marvel Now Revolution, Uncanny X-Force, Storm, classic Magneto, and Stryfe from the pages of Rob Liefeld's X-Force. It was also present in the Uncanny X-Force art, which just totally sucked. Anyway, classic Stryfe figure. So, these, if you live in Manila or in the Philippines like I do, exclusives are very hard to come by because they're very expensive in Asia for some reason. Hasbro made it that way. I don't know why, in Hasbro's sadistic nature, why figures have to be exclusive, especially the good ones. You know what? These will sell. You make them on regular retail, they're not even going to make it on clearance. I guarantee that. The collectors are going to be, scalpers are going to be getting these. Why do you have to make it more exclusive? It's like they're playing with collectors, saying that, ha ha ha, only a few of you are going to get these figures. And anyway, I got this at a very, very nice, decent price at a local hobby shop that I frequent here in Manila. Just an absolute find. I had them pre-ordered it in the US, and they came through, and I'm just really glad. Just really glad I have these set. The Wolverine, I did a review already. I'm not going to include him here because he doesn't have a Build-A-Figure part, so we'll leave it at that. I decided to do one whole review for everybody since they're all just, you know, so that you could, you know, because you're going to get them anyway, all of them anyway, to get Jubilee. So let's start with the Build-A-Figure first, the Jubilee figure, Marvel Legends. This was supposedly a Build-A-Figure for another set of Marvel Legends figures, which was supposed to have been released January 2014, but Hasbro decided, thank God, to pair him up, to make her the Build-A-Figure for X-Men figures. So very, very nice. Thank you, Hasbro, but screw you for making them exclusive. So here's the Jubilee figure. This is her vampire version. It's not the classic Jim Lee version. Paint apps on the figure, decent enough. The eyes are okay, still better than the Marvel Universe version. She comes with these blast effects. They look more like energy blast than her plasma sparkling blast thingies. But it's very nice. I wish the trench coat could have been a little bit longer up to her ankle, but yeah. On the body there's only silver paint, and it's a shame the glossy plastic does not match. The chest area has glossy plastic, the lower abdomen, lower torso and legs have the more matte, shiny matte type of plastic. Yeah, even the soft PVC material does not match the shiny glossy sleeve, so but that's okay. I like the Ray-Bans, the metallic pink Ray-Bans. That's pretty cool. To build her, you'll need Stryfe for the head and the effects. Cyclops will have the right arm, Magneto will have the left arm, and Storm has the torso and leg assembly, as well as the trench coat bit. So very nice. Just good enough as a Jubilee for your X-Men Marvel Legends shelf. Articulation for the figure: it's got a ball jointed neck that's on a hinge, ball jointed upper torso, ball hinge shoulders, ball hinge elbows, ball hinge wrists that go in and out. And the sculpting is a fist and an open hand, which is not that bad. I can live with that. Ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, ankle pivot, ankle swivel, ball hinge, calf swivel, ball hinge ankles with the rocker joints. Good enough. Yeah, I'm definitely pleased with this one more than the Marvel Universe one. It's still, you know, they could have done a lot more with this figure. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Very, very solid figure. On my figure, the eyes have some quality issues, but not that big of a deal. Then we have Cyclops, possibly the third or fourth repaint for this particular mold. I'm not sure. I don't have the Toys R Us classic new X-Men or X-Men First Class, whatever set. But this was a necessary repaint. I think not the best one in the wave. I think this one is he's the least bit picked up in this particular wave. I mean, it's nice if you read up on the Revolution and the Uncanny X-Men. Cyclops started the new Savior School, where Weapon X, the facility where Weapon X used to be, he turned it into the new Savior School, and he's leading a bunch of mutants, newfound X-Men, and this is what he looks like. His ruby quartz visor is gone and instead replaced by this type of weird looking mask. I'm still not convinced with the mask. I'm still not taking it. The comic book looks good. I've been reading up on it. It's very nice, but this new costume, I'm still partial with I mean, you know what? They could have made a ruby quartz X type of goggles. I mean, that would have been nice, but as a mask with an embedded ruby quartz X type thing, it's not even on top of his eyes. If you look at it, the eyes are somewhere here, but the blasts come out there, and there's too much suspension of disbelief required for this particular mask. I'm not buying it. I think Marvel need when they do the reboot, I hope they change this costume. Anyway, but okay, just a necessary repaint. They're giving him a new belt, I think. Paint quality on this one, okay. A lot of black on red bleeding here and there. That's expected from Marvel Legends. Articulation is exactly the same as the original Cyclops figures of this mold. Ball joint on a hinge for the neck. Ab crunch, waist swivel, ball hinge shoulders, thighs, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, ball hinge wrists, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, double jointed ankles, double jointed knees, calf swivel, ball hinge ankles with the rocker joints. Not bad, but I think they could have done better. The paint is orangey. I don't know. They could have used a better black plastic. It's gonna get an 8 out of 10 for me. Then we have Storm. Storm, I had high hopes for this figure. This is the, excuse me, Wolverine in the X-Men Uncanny X-Force uniform that she's sporting. I'm not a big fan of what Hasbro's been doing with their female characters. I mean, okay, they're trying to make him look like less of underwear, less like lingerie and swimsuits. I get it, but if you look at what DC's been doing, their female heroines or heroes, female superheroes, they're sexy, but they're not demeaning in that regard. Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Marvel seems to have covered up all their women. Nothing against that, and the costumes look great, but the classic costumes that Psylocke had, Storm, they were really great, and they were iconic. And for Marvel to do a makeover and give them just trainers was okay, but it did take away a little bit of the nostalgia, a little bit of the iconic look to the characters. Here is Storm with her Uncanny X-Force uniform. Looks great. I was surprised there's very little bleeding of the white and gold paint apps on it. Her eyes and lipstick, the face, the whole head sculpt has been painted amazingly well. Very, very surprised. And the black does not bleed into the brown skin tone that she has. Very, very well done. The metallic white on her leg, I was expecting these to be crappily painted, but they're not. So well done, Hasbro. A bit of a gripe with the cape. I wish they could have used real cloth material, soft goods material for this one. But I think they were going for cheapo, the El Cheapo strategy, and they wanted to reduce cost and give it a better look on the shelf. They probably feel collectors are not going to play with these, and in the long run, the dust will be easier to remove with this kind of material. But still, you know, it's very light, a soft goods cloth material like the Star Wars, like the Darth Vader Black Series material type of cape. That would have been really nice on Storm, but what can you do? Articulation for this figure, it's got a ball jointed neck that's on a hinge, very, very emotive. You can have her in flight poses, very, very nice. She's got open hands, which is fine. Ball hinge shoulders, ball hinge elbows, and ball hinge wrists go in and out. I wish they would have given her a bicep swivel. That's fine. Ball jointed upper torso, no waist articulation. It's fine. They gave her a great sculpt, lower torso sculpt with the butt and the lower torso. Ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knees. No calf twist or pivot. Ball hinge ankles that have the rocker joints. And again, the feet are like the Black Widow feet. They're very, very difficult to stand up. You're going to need the base if you want to keep her standing on the shelf or somewhere on your display. Those are my gripes about this particular mold. But again, you know, it's a great female sculpt, and she's not gonna stand up. Very hard, even in the prone, like regular standing up position. See there, there you go. Okay, we'll do Stryfe last since he's the biggest. Yeah, she's not gonna stand up. Magneto, one of the figures I was really looking forward to as well, and he did not disappoint. I was on the verge of getting the Marvel Select Magneto. I needed a classic Magneto. The white Magneto, white uniform Magneto looks great. The old Magneto, sorry, the new goody Magneto on all white is fine, but I wanted a classics Magneto. Wasn't a big fan of this villain for some reason or another, but when he started appearing in the movies, being a good guy in the comic books, I became a fan. Okay, here he is in his classic Brotherhood of Evil Mutants uniform. It uses an older Marvel Legends male figure mold, which is a bit of a letdown, but you know what? It's fine. They gave him some additional new sculpts, didn't recycle too many pieces. It's a new cape. The cape is just amazing. I'm glad they didn't recycle any older cape. They've given new sculpts for the gloves, for the boots. The head sculpt is just amazing. I wish the helmet could have been removable, but you know what? It's fine. You're not going to display Magneto without the helmet. The helmet is his signature costume. I'm happy with it. Separate belt piece. The red plastic they use looks a little bit cheap, but that's fine. You can easily custom paint it and whatnot. So he has a closed fist, has a closed glove actually, and an open glove hand, which is fine. And that gloved hand looks great, whether he's trying to lift something with his magnetic powers, or he's trying to throw someone out, like Wolverine. Be gone, mutant! Be gone, berserker! Like that. It was very, very nice. One thing I will say about just talking about the head, the sculpt in general, this piece right here. I started the video initially. I was trying to practice. This piece was gone, and this is the reason it's gone. Is it's very loose. I'm probably gonna super glue this one once I finish the video, but this thing is very loose. So I started a video, took pictures like with this guy. Oh my god, he's missing something, and I was like so lucky the cleaning lady had not vacuumed our room, because this would have been lost. It's a very teeny tiny piece. It's a great sculpt. It's a separate piece right there. I'm glad they made a separate piece, because it's a lot. It will look great other than just molded on, but be careful when you open up your Magneto, because this thing will tend to fly away, and if you lose it, that's the end of it. Okay, paint apps, good enough. As I said, the red, not too bad, but the purple is just amazing. Articulation for him, it's an old sculpt. It's got a ball jointed neck on a hinge, ab crunch, waists, waist swivel, ball hinge shoulders, double jointed elbows, bicep swivel. It's just a forearm swivel for the gloves, for the hands. No hinge on the wrist one. It's a shame, but the sculpting is just very nice. I can easily forgive that. Ball hinge hips that are on a peg. That's again like at an angle, stuck to his hips at an angle. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees, a calf twist, calf swivel, and ball hinge ankles with the rocker joint. So very, very nice. This figure is going to get easily a 10 out of 10 for me. Storm's going to get, it's a good attempt. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And finally, Stryfe. Stryfe was the one I was least looking forward to, particularly because I hate this character. He's the Cable's clone. but pretending to be the real one and telling Cable that he is the clone. But from the looks of things, he's starting to look like the, well, actually, you know what? Cable, I think, was the first draft and he was the second draft, because he's got all the powers. He's an Omega level mutant, telepathy, telekinesis, diabolicalness. And I'm glad you know what, with this figure, despite not liking the character, I'm so glad to have this figure. Because if you're a big X-Force fan, you gotta have this figure. Big X-Men fan. And, you know, Hasbro had promised this figure like 2 years ago. And I'm glad they came through with their promise. And you know what? One of the reasons that, not just because we got a Stryfe, but because Stryfe has been released, we now have the promise, and we can now hope that the other figures that were promised back then, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they might see the light of day. The Phoenix Force Cyclops, maybe not. They said it's done and over with. They're not going to release it, but who knows? Some prototypes found their way on the web, on eBay and whatnot. But at least we're gonna get some of the figures that we've been waiting for, like the missing member for the wrecking team, wrecking ball. What's his name? Screwdriver? No, what's his name? Pile driver? Something like that. We're gonna get him. I hope we get the non X-Force costume Psylocke. I mean, a ton of other Marvel Legends figure. With him being released, that just gives more the collectors the hope that we're going to see the other figures are going to see the light of day. So on to Stryfe. Great sculpt on the cape. Amazing. It's made of a harder PVC material. It's still soft PVC, but much harder. So you can use it. You know, if you have him dynamic poses, it can be used as a stand. You can lean on it, so it's not going to bend over. Great helmet sculpt. I mean, just look at that. Classic Rob Liefeld Stryfe. He's got some molding on his chest for his armor, waist piece. Just a lot of all the details they put on this guy. Just amazing. You know what? I would not be surprised if they recycled this guy as a Silver Samurai. He also comes with a sword. He's the only one with accessories. Everybody else doesn't have anything. He's got the most accessories. That's why he's got only the head and the effects for the BAF piece. He's got on the paint apps, immaculate. I was very, very surprised that I did not find as much quality issues on this figure. I was totally expecting the silver and gray to just be crap, bleeding everywhere, but it's not. Hasbro did a wonderful, wonderful job with the paint apps on this figure. Just amazing. So kudos, Hasbro. Despite, I'm still not forgiving you for making it an exclusive, but well done. Ball jointed neck on a hinge, ab crunch, waist swivel, ball hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, ball hinge wrists that go in and out, ball hinge hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, ball hinge ankles. So very, very nice. It's a wonderful set. I'm going to give the figure a 10 out of 10. Overall, the set is going to get a 10 out of 10 for me, because I'm biased as an X-Men fan, and I think, you know what, I had very little expectations on the quality issues. I was expecting a lot of quality issues, but Hasbro surprised me, and they gave them they took care of these figures. Very little quality issues on them, and just overall very, very pleased with it. Very grateful to have them. Thank you. If you're like me who's struggling to get these figures, you could try online or have somebody go to the US and pick some up for you, or hobby shops. But as it is, I don't think they'll be released on regular retail here in Manila. There you go, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video review. If you did, please click the thumbs up icon at the bottom. Follow me on Twitter for my toy purchases, Instagram for my toy sightings here in Manila. Check out all my video reviews on this channel. And just a quick look at the packaging that Hasbro has recycled. Everybody has the same box, except with the names been changed and the back art. I'm really just beginning to hate that generic packaging, but what can you do? Marvel Legends X-Men Toys R Us exclusive Jubilee Build-A-Figure wave featuring Jubilee, Cyclops, Storm, Stryfe, and Magneto. Thanks for watching.